Wagwan Collective, this is Rasta Gal, aka Angelic Empress. Welcome you to my channel. Just want to say thank everybody for being a part of the Rasta Gal family vibe tribe, jumping on this train, enjoying the ride, as well as subscribing to the vibes. Really appreciate all of y'all. Even to those that are just watching, you also are welcome. But to all, even my subscribers, my family, as well as the outsiders, tread lightly. Okay, it's the reason why I always say tread lightly onto my channel and towards my collective, but definitely towards me. I am very highly intunitive, just individual overall, and of course I pick up on energies, I feel energies, I can see energies, sometimes for sure hear energies. So anything that's being thrown behind the screens, behind closed doors, in the dark, things come out to light eventually. Whether it's on my channel, whether it's towards my collective, and whether it's towards me. And I rebuke that energy immediately. My channel is about healing. It's about transmuting the energy. It's about awakening the consciousness and awareness of my collective. My channel is also about self-growth. It's about sending you self-growth. It's about sending you healing on your personal journeys. Collective, those that are a part of the Rasta Gal family, thank you for letting me be a part of your journey and you being a part of mine. I want to get into some downloads I receive. Okay, if you want to know anything more about me, check my bio, what my channel is about. If you would like to support any of my services, that will also be in my bio and also down in the description box below. Let's get into my channeling downloads, dreams, and songs. Okay, you see the title of, my message. And I'm starting out bright and lovely, collective. Okay, for a reason. Okay, but of course there's always a twist. And I mentioned too, what's done in the dark comes to light. So it's a duality of things. Okay, let's get into the synchronicities and signs I was seeing this week. All right, so collective, you may be seeing 404. Okay, it could be an energy that you're working on blocking or you have blocked. Your ancestors also has blocked and is still blocking. Okay, of, I would say, obsessive, relentless energies, of course, of the past. This also could be energies that you're going through internally. You're working on your shadow self, your dark, just you're going through a dark period, or you're, like I said, from my previous message, you're walking out of that tunnel, finding and seeking the light, collective. And I've mentioned that in my previous message. When I saw 404, I literally saw a sign behind a car license plate and it said dare. Now, that was on the dare sign. Okay. The dare sign would mean that drug and alcohol sign that's talking about being proactive against taking substance. So 404, you could be blocking, okay, taking of any type of addiction. You could be blocking addictions, or you was blocking people that is full of addictions, that are obsessive, that take substance. Okay, and it literally, when I saw that dare, it was like daring yourself, but also I felt like a spiritual realms is daring relentless and obsessive energies to intervene, to enlarge, to go beyond your boundaries. They're daring those entities. They're daring the opposing energies. They're daring people, places, and things to cross your boundaries. is what I was feeling. So again, collective, you could have blocked, okay, opposing energies or people, places, or things. When I walked out doing my errands and I was leaving, I tripped off of apple. It was half bitten and an apple was by a tree. So to me, that was representing, and I was just contemplating on all these dreams and channelings and downloads I receive. Me tripping off the apple, representing just biting off more than what you can chew, tripping off of temptation that possibly could be headed my way or could be headed your way, collective. So that was like, I felt it was warning me not to bite off more than what I can't handle and to watch out for temptation. And that's encouragement for you, collective. Also, that could mean someone has chewed more than what they bit off, more than what they can chew, and has been tricked out their spot, or has been tricked into temptation. Okay, that apple was representing to me also of Adam and Eve, and again of temptation. So snakes, someone could be going through Kundalini awakenings, or someone could have been tricked by snakes. Okay, in your yard, in the grass, in your backyard, in the front yard, wherever you resonate at, wherever you go, watch out for snakes, is what it was telling me. And I'm telling you, collective. Okay. The tree represents to me ancestry. It represents just ancient mysteries and again, histories. The tree. I went by a tree the other day, going for a walk, and I touched it. And it just reminded me of reptilians. It reminded me of just a lineage. It reminded me of cells. It reminded me of just the reptilian era of dinosaurs. Trees are so legendary. They tell so much. They're imprints, again, of our history. They're deep-rooted history. So that plays a significance in my message, as in deep roots and history. Okay. Let's go over. So those are the signs and synchronicities. You could be seeing 404. You are protected, collective. I know I am. And you are loved. Okay. That also can mean that as well. It could mean blocking things. It could also mean, again, the ancestors telling you, warning you, but also your spiritual realms and spiritual families telling you you're protected and loved. Again, repeatedly. You see in the pictures of the bunny, of course, the bunny could represent rebirth and resurrection. Okay, I kept getting that synchronicity due to a movie I went to go see. But before I get into that movie, collective, I'll tell you about my dream I had last night. I seen myself, I was like either in the hospital or I was at a center, and I saw myself either engaging with a group of people. It looked more like a cafeteria setting, a cafe setting, and either I was serving people or I was literally just sitting down eating, and all of a sudden I saw people just lock the door. It was like nurses just locked the door, and or just people just went to the door and locked it without saying anything. And all of a sudden I looked around and I saw people look like they were being drained of their energy, or I don't know if things were being put into the air for people to lose their breath, and they just started changing, morphing into things. And I got out right away, quickly. Something else also escaped along with me. I wasn't sure. It could have been of a person. And I end up just outside, like on a road or something. And I was running to escape, to find my way out of wherever I was, and in the dream. And I end up coming along. Whoever was with me came along, and we was able to see vehicles go by, or a vehicle. You know how you see yourself in a movie scene stuck behind an abandoned road, and you see just one vehicle. Creepy. But the person got into the van. Whoever was driving, I think, was a zombie. So zombies could be significant, as in like not a person looking as zombies literally look dry and just lifeless and soulless. And that could be referring to people that you are coming encounters with, or that is trying to surround you or is surrounding you, collective, whether it's in a 5D or 3D world here. But the person that escaped along with me got into the car, and they were just happy and excited to finally escape. And as I was about to get in, something from the back of the vehicle bit the person that escaped, and it turned them into a zombie. And I was just like, my gosh, everything. I ran after I saw it. I definitely ran. But that person got changed into an entity or a zombie. Then it changed into me seeing two cage birds, and it looked like doves or some type of finches birds, but they were both white. And I took one out, so it trusted me. I released one, but the other one was just in there, or it was trying to escape, or just stayed in waiting for me to release it. But I released one, and it started to get a little fluttery because someone in the background opened the door and was coming in, and I just shushed the bird and calmed it down. I was petting it, telling the bird it's safe, it's okay, you're free. And I brought it to my heart, and I listened to my heartbeat, and it just let me pet it, and it was cooing like a dove bird, and it just was comfortable. It was safe in my hands and my arms. So that was telling me that just from those dreams, which was crazy last night, that it reminded me of Maya Angelou with her poetry and just her story, how she became free from just a lot of things she's been in. But it reminded me of just freedom and just purity and just being released from possibly physical harm, mental harm, emotional harm, you know what I mean, or abuse. It says that her poem is saying, I see why a caged bird sings or is free, or something like you can't keep a caged bird from being free, something like that, or just a bird in general. Okay, so it was reminding me of liberation, purity, again, spiritual awareness and consciousness of someone wanting to be free or released. Or collective, this could represent that you are being free and released. My hands could represent of an angelic presence or of a person releasing, helping you to be liberated and free. That also could represent somebody that was put behind bars, that was innocent and pure, that's being freed is another way I'm looking at it just now. But it could be definitely like a spiritual type of battle or thing, spiritual warfare type of thing. Collective, you could be going through, we all could be facing in our own individual way, that we're releasing and becoming free, collective, from just opposing again of energies, energetically or physically, that is trying to keep you mentally and emotionally and physically chained, bind, okay, of the past energies or present energies, okay? that is not being, that is surrounding you, that is not for your highest good. You possibly could have been getting spiritually attacked. You might be feeling psychic attacks. You might be, as you astral traveled through your dream, you could be feeling those energies. Entities could be surrounding you because you are freeing yourself, collective. You're freeing yourself from these entities and people that are projecting. Okay. You're fighting and going through your spiritual war. You're going through shadow work. Okay. And you're healing. Okay. You're working on healing and being free, being liberated. And those entities and energies are trying to surround you, or is surrounding you, collective. Take this message if it resonates. Don't take it if it doesn't apply to you. But if you can relate, okay, then continue tuning in. But you are getting out. The song I kept hearing as I was sitting on this message, not just from my dream, but I had other dreams before. Okay. I kept hearing Lauryn Hill, I Get Out. So I have that down below in my description box. But it literally, everything that I'm saying, collective, I know it's going to be all over the place, but trust me, it'll fit and come together at the end. As always, my messages is like a puzzle because I'm solving, a mystery. I'm solving cases here, in the spiritual realm as well as physical realm, possibly. Okay. And this could pertain to you, collective, as well as me. All right. So I felt it was a reason why her song was on Unplugged. My gosh. So this is also talking about the Matrix. And she talking about how she got out, or she was getting out at the time from being plugged into the Matrix in regards to her skills, her creativity, her talent, her liberation, her vitality, her gift, that she displayed. She's definitely a starseed. I felt she's definitely a chosen one. She's a spiritual being for sure. And she was at that time getting out of the Matrix. You can tell she was fighting a spiritual war. How she had to separate herself and cut herself away from the world. And I feel, collective, this is possibly how you're feeling, or you may have felt, maybe what you have done. You have cut yourself from a lot of people, places, and things from the world to figure out yourself, to refocus on yourself, to liberate yourself. And it's the reason why I dreamed of those two birds at that. So twos can be significant. You could be seeing 222, a lot of fours, as well as, again, 404. My gosh, collective. So definitely Lauryn was ahead of her time, and also within the R&B realm of music, because the devil is the orchestrator of music. He was the angel of music. He was in charge. So of course the devil's running rampant in that arena. But she was getting out from the grips of the hands of the Matrix and the devil. And this could pertain to, you don't even have to be into music. It could be you involved in anything creative, spiritually given a gift that's trying to be corroded. Energies and people and entities and forces. The Matrix overall is trying to corrode your mind, body, spirit, and soul from you getting out, from you being unplugged, collective, from you taking the red pill. Is trying to bring you back into the matrix of taking the blue pill for you to still be asleep and not awake, collective. See how deep my message is getting? It's going to get even deeper. We're going to go into the rabbit hole. So if you have stuck around this long, continue to, just listen. So Maya Angelou, okay, that came about from me having my dream last night of the caged birds, okay. Someone could have the name starting with M or A. Someone could have the name of the letters L and H in regards to Lauryn Hill. Okay. The movie I went to go see, my gosh, was called Sinners. Okay. That was definitely a good movie. I advise for everyone to go see it. It's up to y'all. No pressure. Okay. I feel like I wanted to have, as a spiritual being, I feel like it's good to be open-minded. Okay. Not open-minded to being blind, not open-minded to being bamboozled, not being open-minded to ignorance, but to be open-minded with a higher perspective of what you watch, what you listen to, and just what you're learning about, collective. Okay. I'm not saying to go and worship darkness. I'm saying it's good to also read upon it, look into it to get the understanding and wisdom of it, like how it came about and why. Not to practice it, though. I'm not encouraging to practice anything dark. Okay. So don't misread my message here. But not be ignorant to it. Because when you're ignorant to the projections and entities and just what people use, when you're blind to it, you're taking the blue pill, not the red pill. You're not aware. You're not acknowledging that, okay, I'm going through spiritual warfare or spiritual attacks, psychic attacks. What could I do? You know what I mean? To resist. What can I do to protect myself? What could I do to what is it? For that energy to starts for R. Just to restrict that energy, collective. It could be about anything that occurs with you. But it's good to just know, because the more you know, the less effect it will have on you. Okay, the more you're aware of things. And that's why I said my channel is about awakening your consciousness and awareness. Okay. So the movie Sinners definitely played a significance on this other movie I watched before I went to go see that. This movie was on YouTube and it's free. It's called Get Out. And I felt led to watch that ahead of time. My gosh. And the song that definitely will give you chills, that that is kind of creepy, they play in the beginning, was for a reason. So after hearing that song, of course it echoed afterwards, like energetically. That's why I was saying, it's, you gotta be careful what you do watch. But it eventually faded, but it came back again, especially after watching that movie Sinners. And I was like, there's so many things that are just collating together, things tying in together. Why things are remade or remake in the movie scenes, in the music scenes. Just anything we watch is like a purpose, and there's always a place and time for things. Okay. Remember I talked about how rabbits represent resurrection. So things are resurrecting in just different ways and different forms. So after seeing that movie Get Out and hearing this song I'm about to go over with you, and then seeing the Sinners movie, I said, my gosh, how this all just connects. Okay, so the song, because that's why I was showing you rabbits in the beginning. The song was written by Noel Gay, confirmation. In 1939, someone could have been born around that time. And, but it was remade, again, resurrected by The singers Flanagan and Allen in 1932. So maybe in 1932 this song was sung before it was written by Noel Gay. Someone's name could start for N or a G or a F or a A. The song is called Run Rabbit. And it starts out, it says, on the farm every Friday it's rabbit pie day. So every Friday that ever comes along, I get up early and sing this little song. Again, this song is a little disturbing to me, twisted to me. And it's the reason why they played the song at the beginning of that movie called Get Out. It said, run rabbit, run rabbit, run, run, run. Run rabbit, run rabbit, run, run, run. Don't give the farmer his fun, fun, fun. He'll get by without his rabbit pie. Run rabbit, run rabbit, run, run, run. And I looked more into it. Of course, the Noel Gay written this. Okay, again, this is disturbing, twisted meaning behind the song. He written this to warn children. So it was all about, when you see rabbits, they're youthful, they're shy, they're fragile, they're easily frightened, they're mild-mannered. As characteristics of a rabbit, take it however you think rabbits react or their characters are. But to replace that with children, that's how children are. So Noel Gay written this after he heard the song from Flanagan and Allen to warn children during World War II. Again, twos are significant. In regards to run and find shelter. He written this for children to find shelter. My gosh. During that time of the World War II. So when I heard this, after doing my research later on, of course, but when I heard this in the beginning of Get Out, yeah, it's talking about getting out, being liberated, running for your life, running for freedom, running to get away from whatever you're running from harm, danger, stranger danger at that. That could be significant. Maybe you're schooling your children, or this is encouragement to school your children in regards to stranger danger. Okay? Not to leave them blind and carefree and ignorant. It's good to school your children and the youth overall about this world. Okay, and how dangerous it can be. Maybe you wasn't schooled when you was young. Okay, you had to learn the hard way. It maybe have led you down the wrong path, down a rabbit hole. And you had to learn from your experiences and mistakes that you can't trust everybody, that people are snakes. People are harmful, people are shady, people are dangerous, people are sinister, people are locked in the past. They're locked in past prism, past paradigm. They're locked, their mindset and their lifestyle and how they act and their character is locked in from past slavery times. I'm going deep, collective. Okay? That song reminded me of cartoons at that. Okay? When you hear it, it sounds fun, it sounds kiddish, but it sounds creepy. And that's the same music they used on Looney Tunes, collective. I'm connecting the dots. I felt that time period, that song, this message from World War II. Elmer Fudd was probably stuck in a paradigm of World War II, going after the bunny rabbit. That bunny rabbit could have represented a child on the Looney Tunes, disguised as Bugs Bunny. Because he was very carefree, kiddish, very peculiar type of character he played. And he was always running from the gun. He was always running from Elmer Fudd. That song also talked about this part here I didn't mention. He said, after he said, run, rabbit, run, run, he literally said, bang, 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 goes the farmer's gun. Run, rabbit, run, run. I felt the song was made that way for it to sound innocent. But again, behind the scenes, behind the message, behind the sound and the tones of this music, behind who was singing it, had a creepy, chilling, disturbing twist, sinister meaning to this song. And it was of like warning. Like, remember I talked about the trees in the beginning, and I'm just bringing up about slavery. Both of those two, I'm not going to tell you too much about the Sinister movie because that's pretty brand new, but it kind of relates to the Get Out movie. It's all I'm going to say. It's all I'm going to say. And with the Get Out movie, I can emphasize on that more. Again, it talked about slavery. It talked about people being stuck in a mindset and a lifestyle. Okay. That song, Run Rabbit, it literally said rabbit pie. Every Friday on the farm, it's rabbit pie. So this could be of a disturbing situation. You know, that movie was of a group. That movie was of more than just one person that was involved in this type of game and this type of mindset. Again, the music sounds very kiddish, childlike. It sounds like it could be a game. And that's how the movie Get Out was. This group of people made whatever they were doing that was not normal a game. And that's how slavery was. It was not normal. It wasn't of the norm. Okay. And slavery definitely, I'm telling you like it is on my channel, definitely color washed, definitely about colorism, definitely about colonists, definitely about just the mentality, the paradigm, the mindset, the characters that people still lived in. I'm talking about called groups. I'm talking about covens. These were a group of people that had that spirit, that entity on them, that were witches and warlocks, that went after peculiar people they were afraid of, people like them, that we all was created alike, just different. And people are afraid of different. People fear different. And that's how this world was made. It's different. So people fear what they don't understand and know. That's why I was saying in the beginning, it's good for us to get the understanding and knowledge of everything. That's good and bad. And in that movie, Get Out, this could pertain to now how life is in this world today. People are waking up and getting out of the matrix. People are waking up and getting out if they were involved in occults or covens. People are waking up and getting out, and they're running. People that are still in occults and in covens, that are strange and that are sinisters, that are twisted. They have twisted beliefs. Okay, I got this card off of a tarot reader, and I got to get the deck of this because I like this deck. But this is how, you know what I mean, people that's involved in occults and groups and covens and into the Illuminati, this is how they go around looking. They look strange. They wear a mask. You heard of that saying, save yourself, put a mask on your face before you can save and put a mask on someone else's. But they walk around full of gas, full of poison along wearing that mask. And they look at the world and people, place, and things in a twisted way, collective. Follow me. And it's a game to them. These occults and covens and people that's involved in the wrong type of group settings, people of the elites that are that are not for your highest good. They look at the world twisted, but they put on a persona as if they're normal, collective, okay? And they look at the world as rabbits. They look at people as rabbits. They look at the confirmation. They look at people and they play this game. They are full of entities, okay? They're trying to resurrect a lot of wickedness and a lot of things in this world, but they walk around with a smile, full of entities. I'm talking about this group. I'm sure you heard of it, and if you haven't, let me enlighten you. They actually got a trailer of, they got this Run Rabbit series on Netflix now. You should go check it out. But they got a trailer coming out in 2025 called The Miss Purgeon's Home for Peculiar Children. And it's the reason why all this is a connecting and all this is tying in. Okay. Definitely do your research. But the Miss Purgeon Home for Peculiar Children, it was reminding me of X-Men. You realize they had a school and a certain setting or location they had to be at to not be discovered, to be hidden of their superpowers and just of their unnormalness. Mutants, you might as well say. Okay. They had to be on a separate island, in the comics, in the I'm trying to think of the name. It's a name for all those movies, and I can't think of it right now. But when you look it up, it'll be under that title. Starts with M. It's not comics, not just comics, but when you look at Marvels, my gosh, when you look at the Marvel movies, it would be in that category. Okay, so bear with me, collective. So yes, when I heard of this, which would be the first, they created a school for peculiar children. And again, it reminded me of X-Men and the movies. See how all this is connecting? Okay. That trailer is coming out. They remade it. They resurrected. But again, it has a twisted, sinister, chilling, creepiness behind that movie, that trailer. Okay. See the kids putting on a mask? All right. And it's just of children. You don't see them being adults. You don't see them past that, pre-teen. They're literally children. And you saw that they all looked different. They all had special gifts. They all were just unique. They all were mutants. In the X-Men movie, they literally kept them away from harming the world and the society that they were brought to. Okay, and they had to again conform to the world, and they had to be, if they wasn't relating to the matrix, blending in, they would have been exiled. So that's why they were dismissed and excluded to a certain area on an island, okay, for the gifted, for the chosen ones, for the peculiar ones, for whatever you want to say, mutants, the star seeds, whatever they were. Okay. I don't know, I feel like as having a broader perspective and on this message, and what I'm saying is, of course, chosen ones, star seeds, whatever they want to call us, mutants, we're scattered in this world, in this matrix, for a reason and purpose, collective. Okay? Maybe we're looking at the world differently. We're looking at the world peculiarly. We're looking at the world with different set of eyes. We're feeling the world differently, people differently at this time. Again, you could be going through Kundalini and spiritual awakening. Your consciousness and awareness is more broader and brighter, or it's just more open. Okay? You can see the zombies, the vamps, the soulless beings out here in this world. Or you're waking up to seeing that. You have taken yourself out of the matrix, or you're working on that. You are deciding, should I stay asleep or should I remain awake, collective? My gosh. From this movie here that you can look at, is probably a book on it as well. The Peculiar, Miss Pigeon Home for Peculiar Children. To sum this up, okay, I hope I'm not ruining it for everybody. But she was a young brain. She was a character of a mutant bird, Time Lord, is what she was portrayed of. Okay. And she becomes normalized when peculiars, children, are involved. Okay, she become normalized. So I felt on this island, she wanted to keep them staying young and dumb. Keep their mind young, their energy young, their body young and youthful for a purpose. Okay. Again, she become normalized as she continued to collect and find peculiar children. It was kind of reminding me of Hansel and Gretel. See how all these stories are connecting, movies are connecting. And you knew what happened to Hansel and Gretel in regards to the witch, in regards to that witch being nice and welcoming and warming, feeding and stuffing the children until they couldn't eat anymore. All in return to gain, all in return to create them as a rabbit pie. You see how all this is turning together, is connecting. I feel like Miss Peregrine Home was created for her own gains. She created a safe and warm place for the children, you know what I mean, caring to protect them in ways that no one can. But to be honest, I feel like she used them, she sabotaged them and kept them in slavery. Okay, we talked about slavery in the beginning. Okay. She literally, to me, I felt like, and it's showing, or it will display in this description I put down and below. But yeah, I felt like she was a fallen angel. She turns into a crow. She turns into a bird. And I felt like she was a fallen angel that survived off of the years from the children, stealing their essence, stealing their powers, stealing their energy from the children. Okay, remember I said here, she becomes normalized when peculiars are involved or around. So she's still in time, and their essence and energy and vitality, their youthfulness. Isn't that also a witch? That's what witches do and warlocks do. So she was or is portrayed as the nice witch, the nice protector over the children, the peculiar, special children. All in return is to just steal, kill and destroy, collective. So definitely, again, protect your children, okay, from these goons, goblins that is not serving for your highest good and for your children's highest good. Protect yourself and your children, okay? Peace and mind, body, spirit, and soul. What they're watching, what they're just getting involved in. My gosh. Before they become zombified, okay? Before they become zombified, your children, or you become zombified. I talked about zombies in the beginning. This is reminding me of the movie I haven't watched. I really don't like watching zombie movies, but it reminds me of that movie with Brad Pitt. It's called V, something like that. And it used to be a zombie series or show that played constantly, and I didn't like watching that. My gosh, collective. So this could involve, again, the picture you've seen before of occults and covens, witch and warlocks and vamps. These are strange, sinister people in this world that has peculiar behaviors. They have twisted beliefs. They are emotional manipulators. Okay? My gosh. They're going to receive karma. If you are receiving monitoring energies, evil eye, all of a sudden, I've been seeing eyes watching as well, spiritually. And it kind of reminded me of cat eyes. So definitely I feel tiger's eye is good for protection. Someone should be investing. I know I will in tiger's eye. But I've been feeling evil eyes. You could be experiencing that, collective. Spiritual attacks, psychic attacks, just negative energy, monitoring energy. You could be receiving mental pressure. I don't know. It could be an extension of spiritual ascensions, but also projections. Okay, you have to be discerning in regards to that. But the projections from entities, the matrix, the forces, you know what came to me when I was thinking about that? That robbers, they don't come after empty homes. They come after homes that has something special within it, collective. And I feel like this may not pertain to everybody, but to whoever this relates to, you are special. You have some special in you. And that's why the spiritual warfare is happening. This is why it's heightening. And I'm going to just say to you, collective, to continue to just cleanse and banish and pray and stay on your journey, your course that you're going through and walking on. Okay? I know it's going to seem so just heavy, and it just seems so redundant and just ridiculous and relentless to go through. But remember that this too shall pass. Remember that the light before the dawn. Remember that joy comes after the rain. The sunshine comes and shines through the pain, collective. That, again, you will see and feel lighter. You will feel stronger. You will feel even more enlightened and awakened than you were before. Okay? And again, you will get through whatever you're going through at this time. Just don't give up. Hang in there. That's encouragement for myself as well, collective. Okay. So that song, Run Rabbit, Run, Run, Run. I don't know. I feel like also your ancestors is going after these entities, these dark forces, the matrix itself, aka God, is going after those energies. And they're telling them to run, run, run. Especially when you have returned that energy towards and to your ancestors to take care of it, for God to take the will, they're going to be running. Again, energies and people, places, and things, forces, entities are going to be receiving karma. They're going to also be sent back to the pits of hell where they belong. They're going to be the rabbits running. So this could be from, again, occults and covens of people that could pertain to co-workers, that could pertain to your brothers, your sisters, your friends, your father, your mother, your cousin. This could pertain to a baby father, a baby mother of yours, or again, this could be of your parental figures. This also could pertain to relationships that were executed, that were blocked. I talked about block communication and block connections in the beginning of my message, that were codependent on your energy, codependent on you, vice versa. They became zombies, collective, as you dissipate, as you walk away, as you cut the cords and ties, or you continuously cutting, collective. These are energies, people and places and things, again, that are tricksters, trickster energies, trickster forces, zombies, witches and warlocks and vamps that are energy drainers, collective. This can be in a relationship or connection I'm referring to that is platonic or loving. If this was a sexual connection, loving connection, these are energies that were possibly you were involved with a fuck boy, fuck girl. And that's all that they were to you and you to them. Okay, you came down to it to realize that's what this connection was, and nothing more and nothing less. Okay, and they are, again, they're zombified, they're lost, they're soulless beings. These could have been energies that were connected on Drews, okay, vapes, weed, any type of substance, any type of addictions, okay, that they were involved in or became a part of. They probably became a part of a cult or group before they met you or even after, to get back at you and to get even with you. Okay? And they didn't realize they connected with soulless beings that were vamps, witches, and warlocks that they became a part of. That kind of turned them, not kind of, that has turned them or sent them down a rabbit hole. These are energies that like to harass. They don't know boundaries. Okay, these are energies that, and people, place, and things that are mentally disturbed. They probably was masturbating, male or female, and just indulging in it, okay, to manifest you or to cause the spiritual projections and the psychic attacks. That's how they did it. These could have been covens and cults that participate in menage a trois, or participating in third-party escapades sexually to draw in collective energies or to capture energies. Okay, like that movie I mentioned of the Miss Purgeon's home. This could be happening in the woods. This could be happening in the forest. This could be happening in a home. This could be happening at some building. This could be happening, like I said, at an outside type of atmosphere. Okay? That they come together and draw up all kinds of energies and entities. But like I said, when you regain your energy and you come to the conclusion, understanding that these people is going to reap karma, is going to receive what they dished out, because it's universal law. They're breaking spiritual law. They're breaking and have broken possibly human law. Okay. My gosh, collective. We'll get to that. So my thing is, by them breaking spiritual law, by these energies and entities, they know too, okay, that they're breaking spiritual law, but they're trickster energies and spirits. So they like to trick. They like to feed off of our ignorance, to feed off of our fear, to feed off of what we don't know and don't acknowledge. And that's why I was saying we should be learning the dark and the light. We should be learning about it, getting knowledge and understanding about it for a higher purpose, okay? As well as to protect ourselves, but not to abuse it and use it to hurt anybody, not to hurt anyone, okay? But use it for our greater good, okay? And hurt of none, okay, collective? My gosh, these are the energies that's going to be running, like I said. These are the energies that are going to get caught. These are the energies and entities, especially when you take your power and energy back, and they receive that can of what passed, that karma that God gives back, okay, with vengeance. While you stand in victory, you walk with a protected and a energy and a peace of mind in your life, within your mind, body, spirit, and soul. They're going to reap that karma of God's vengeance. My gosh, collective. This picture here is reminding me of Noah's Ark. Remember I mentioned of the 2 dove birds? And that was a sign of just beginnings and of brand new starts, of peace and freedom, of purity, okay, from the narcs, from the control issues, from the matrix of the world. You got to watch that movie Noah. It's on YouTube as well. I'll have trailers of that, but that's what the 2 doves were showing me. It's showing here in this picture of corruption, of things having to be destroyed in order to be rebuilt again. It's no fun when a rabbit has control, when a rabbit that's been abused and misused, by narcs, vamps, and zombies, entities, and trickster energies, witches and warlocks. It's no fun when an innocent rabbit takes back its power and have open and broader perspective and understanding of why this happened and why this is happening. And they use it to protect themselves, and it goes back to the source and senders. It is no fun when a rabbit has the power and the gun. It is no fun when people that are misusing divination, putting your name and your picture on the altar, to masturbating to your pictures on the altar, or just in their phone, or just doing all kinds of wickedness and nastiness. Witches and warlocks would do anything to gain your energy and power by manipulating you emotionally, by manipulating you spiritually, by manipulating your mind, body, spirit, and soul, violating you spiritually as well as physically. Narcs will do that as well. It is no fun when you take back your energy and power, again, from people that put you on their altars, until all of a sudden their altars just catch on fire, until all of a sudden the entities that they've been praying to turn around and stab them in the back, turn around and drain them as if they were zombies, draining the life force and source out of them, because they can't regain or take control or trap mentally or physically, emotionally, spiritually, hold captive the chosen ones and star seeds and whoever you call yourself, mutants, whatever you call yourself, the special ones, captive. They come after the ones that put the chosen ones or whoever as a sacrifice that they can't have control over. And they come after the ones that were praying to the deities and entities. When they come and suck the life out of you and turn you zombified, it is no fun, is it? These entities and deities, as well as the dark energies, the underworld, they don't play fair. And when they come to suck the life out of people, places, and things that are praying and worshiping these dark forces and entities, they're going to be, or whoever's doing it is going to be zombified. Because they already took your soul. You already contracted your soul to these entities and deities and the underworld. They got your soul. And they're going to drain the life source and force out of them, out of whoever's doing it. Be my witness. My gosh, collective. The underworld don't play fair. I forgot to mention that movie, Miss Pregelin's Home, started September 3rd of 1943. Someone could have been born around that year, or someone's birthday could be of that month. Threes can be significant. The whole movie was talking about a loop lifestyle. Somebody, energies or entities, covens and covens are trying to create a loop for someone to be stuck in a loop, for you to be stuck in a loop lifestyle, collective, because they're stuck. They're stagnant. They're lacking. People that be chanting, putting you on their altars to do all kinds of wickedness and weirdness and nastiness, craftiness. Again, they're stuck in a old timeline. They possibly was told lies about you, collective. And these practitioners or whoever's doing it, voodoo, witch, priest, whatever, whoever, priestess, again, it could be of anybody that's manipulating and abusing divination. Okay, this could be also confirmation. This could be also ex-family, whoever that doesn't like your ass, going across the seas, going across another country or world just to plant roots, just to cause mayhem and havoc, not knowing that all that is being rooted and planted. A ditch is dug right beside the ditch they want you to fall in, that they're digging for you. They're going to fall in it twice themselves. Karma is coming after your enemies. Karma is coming after these energies and entities because of your purity and innocence, because of your knowledge meant and awareness of the matrix and just of spirituality. Cops is coming for, again, these wicked voodoo witches and warlocks, priests and priestess. Voodoo that practice hoodoo, whatever, that abandons and abuses man's law and spiritual law. You see here, you're showing the cops taking a zombie away. Again, this is how they probably look in a spiritual sense, but look like a zombie in a human body, but spiritually they look like this. Man or female, your spiritual ancestors, the spiritual realms, your army of spiritual protectors is going to take this person's zombified body, because they're soulless beings, back to where they belong. And this could be happening on the physical realms. It transmute into the physical realms from high to low. They will be going to the what is it? To Shutter's Island, Long Island, Rainford Island. These are all islands they made up. But to be honest, there is an island in New York. There is an island in Boston. Okay, that they take crazy people to. The Shutter's Island I mentioned, or the Rainford Island I mentioned again, is a fictional type of island they made up. And the most dangerous game is what it says. It is a more sinister, isolated location. Not real place. It's not a real place, but they make believe as it is. The real places are in Boston. Someone could be from Boston. Okay. That place is called Boston Harbor. It's a hospital island for pests. It said Pest House Island is what it's called. They used it for quarantine. And this is in between Boston and New York. Someone could be from those locations. Long Island. Another one is called P-Docks Island. These are where these people is going to be going. The ones that are zombified, the ones that are fake voodoo priests and fake false practitioners, male or female, to your ex-enemies overall, whether they friend, family, business, lover, co-workers, cousins, whatever, whoever they are, auntie, uncles, grandma, grandpops, don't care the age. They're going to be going to these places, off to an island. If not physically, spiritually, their souls will be snatched by your ancestors, like you see on his pictures. And they're going to be like this rabbits running, collective. You know the reason why Miss Pendulum's home for peculiar children were on an island, again, to separate themselves from the world and from being found out. Not just from human existence, but to be held captive, collective. The one that was supposed to be protecting them and sheltering them was holding them captive. Okay? They literally said that, I guess every just certain time, a bomb would go off. Remember I talked about World War II. So a bomb would happen on that island, but it happened before the loop starts. Because remember I mentioned that Miss Pendulum, or whatever her name was, she was supposed to be a time lord. Okay? Follow me. And every time the bomb occurred, she would keep the kids on an island and they would just wear that mask. This is also reminding me of the Holocaust with the Jews and Hitler. Okay? And how he would torture, the Jews. He was definitely an atheist, Hitler was. And how he tortured people that served a certain religion or spirituality. It was based off of that, collective. And he wanted people to worship and serve him. Who would that remind you of? The devil? He was definitely a demonic entity, a person. And that's the energy I feel these occults and covens, they consume. They consume the energy of Hitler. Just this person wearing this mask that is in a occult or covens reminded me of how the Jews were tortured with gas chambers or in gas chambers. My gosh, you got to look into that, read into that. That was another way of torturing the Jews that Hitler did. Again, I mentioned trees before. I mentioned ancestry, history, how the trees represent our roots. The woods represent our roots. The forests represent our roots. What we had to go through, how slaves were tortured, was demolished. Okay? By the woods, by the trees, being hung. That Run Rabbit song and watching the Get Out movie to also the Sinners movie again reminded me of slavery times, reminded me of the Underground Railroad, reminded me of how people had to run like rabbits to escape, to had to sing songs like that to protect themselves and their families, for freedom, for liberation, for equalization, to break the chains mentally, physically, and emotionally. These are cults and covens and elites and Illuminati. They are mentally in prison. Matrix, mentally imprisonating people that are still asleep, that is not awake. And they're coming after people that has took the red pill and that is trying to awaken the consciousness and awareness of this world, let alone yourself. And behind the scenes, being attacked, behind the scenes, going through spiritual warfare, because all you want to do is spread light in the darkness, be the light, and not be of this world. My gosh, collective, how you know you have the light, you spread the light, how you know you're different, how you know you're a mutant, how you know you're a chosen one, you're a starseed, you're an alien, how you know you're just a special person. Again, for some reason, people, if you're a truth seeker or a truth teller, speaker, you know, you're a seer, again, you're a healer, shaman healer, you're an angelic being, collective, you're a child of God. The demons come out, not just at night, they come out throughout the day, and people, places, and things. You can be minding your business, doing whatever you're supposed to be doing or you want to be doing. People just come out of their mouth about how they truly feel. They'll show their character. They'll show their ass in front of you, whether it's on a workplace, whether it's around your community, neighborhood, whether it's in your family home, internally or externally. I'm telling you, collective, your light stirs up people's demonic energies. They can't stand still and keep quiet. They're fidgety. They like to cause a lot of ruckus, ruffle people's feathers and commotion. You can tell that's an unstable mental spirit or entity in someone when they're constantly causing that type of corruption, that kind of mayhem around people, place, and things. You could tell that person has a parasite that's attached to them, that's connected to them. Someone that wants to keep you confused and just stir up commotion is a double-minded individual. That you got to stay far and clear from. And it can be within your own race, collective, within your own culture. It don't have to be of the opposite all the time. It could be African against African, African American against African American, Caucasian against Caucasian, Asian against Asian. Okay, that could be significant. Also, collective, from the movies that I mentioned, it could be happening within America or it could be happening in other countries. Okay, also Mississippi could play a significance, Texas can play a significance. I mentioned New York and Boston. It could be happening on just an island, Caribbean island. There's islands everywhere around this world. That could be raising brows and just raising a problem because of cultural differences and location. No culture is better than the other. Every culture is significant. Every culture is special. Every race is significant and special. But in this matrix and in the old timelines from our past history or our ancestry history or just a slave mentality that people were raised in back in the day, or maybe just have experience, people that was being conditioned, people that was being controlled by slave masters in the ancestry timeline or bloodline or the legacy or generation to generation. It's been passed, and the fear, the trauma that's been passed down from those times I'm telling you, different cultures, when you come together and you work together and you love one another, whether it's platonic or not, it is a beautiful thing. And people go through a lot of difficulties because of when different cultures come together, especially when they're in love. They want to start a family, combined a family. The old paradigm of the parental figures or of just the ancestry timeline or the bloodline, if they're not hip right now to things changing and just this world now, just how things are, evolving. If people of that timeline or of that bloodline of that generation is still stuck and stagnant in an old paradigm or timeline, they give the present or the future a hard time to combine, a hard time to enjoy life, a hard time to move on to the future, a hard time to enjoy the present because, of the children that has found love or just found a new job, want to relocate or just want to change and evolve as an individual or as a family with new cultures, a new race, especially dating outside your race. They give that generation a hard time to do that. They disapprove because of how they were conditioned or colonized or raised, what they see, what their religion they go by or follow. And it just messes up everything. It messes up the trajectory. You know what I mean? And I don't know why I went down that road, but I just felt like I needed to say that. Cultural differences. Exactly. And it's all due to colonization and conditioning. Ancestry, bloodline, and generational curses. Another thing I forgot to mention, this coven. You see the picture there, this covenant cult. Again, they could be into the Druze, into just all types of addictions. They could have been taking all kinds of hallucinations and psychedelics. Okay, the rabbits also was reminding me of Alice in Wonderland. And again, once I saw that cartoon and also the movie, it reminded me of someone just chilling by a tree and taking psychedelics, taking mushrooms, and going into a trip, disassociation from reality to what's not realistic. And that's how I feel, and maybe what happened to Alice in Wonderland, supposedly, with my fingers. She possibly was taking Druze or drugs. The dark side of it, this could pertain to a Caucasian woman. Alice in Wonderland was portrayed as a Caucasian woman with blonde hair. But this could pertain to anybody. And you realize the bunny rabbit always had the time clock. So in that movie, instead of the bunny rabbit being Miss Pendulum, it was the rabbit that was the time lord. Because it was always rushing and focusing on time, being late for things. You also saw the checkerboard. It was a game, mental game, physical game that was occurring with Alice in Wonderland. Because she woke up out of a dream. And also remember, she took some type of pill or some type of psychedelic to turn as a mini person to be able to go through what she went through. So she, on the dark side, may have taken a psychedelic and went into some type of cardiacal rest. I don't know if I'm saying it right, or just a psychedelic trip. So yeah, that was the dark side. She was taking Druze. Or somebody that's in the coven or occult groups, elite groups, or Illuminati, just they're all messed up collective. on a physical note, let alone spiritual. And you don't even have to be famous to be an elite. Okay, this could be just normal people that is in your community or neighborhood that you work around, that you live around, that's part of your friends group, family group, you know what I mean, that's part of a relationship or connection. I could be talking to couples that are in the business of doing this type of occult and coven, strange and sinister type of business that has twisted beliefs and characters and lifestyle collective. I know this was a lot to take in, a lot to listen to, collective, but I was definitely just touching on some factors and just what's occurring still in this time, day, and age, you know, and how we have to continuously be working on ourselves to heal ourselves, to transmute these energies, breaking the chains mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually from ourselves, from our ancestry. And just being in this matrix, how we have to unplug ourselves, continue to speak truth and life. And even if the truth hurts, even if the truth exposes, we're doing it in love. You're speaking it in love. You're speaking it to get justice. You're speaking it to seek equalness. And I think that's worth speaking and worth getting your point across. Worth speaking up and expressing yourself with no harm done to none. Well, thank you for listening to my message, collective. I hope you gained something out of it. If you have, definitely give me thumbs up. If you can relate, like, subscribe, and share this message with others so they can also relate and to hear, to see, and to feel, possibly heal themselves and others. If you would like to know anything about me, check my biography. If you like any services, that information is down below. Until next time, this is Rasta Gal, aka Angelic Empress. Thank you for listening to this message. Stay tuned for more. Until next time, peace. And be safe, collective.